Lamine Yamal is only 17 years old, but he is already considered one of the greatest football talents in the world. This statement is clearly justified by his performance in this year's European Championship. In this video, we will delve deeper into his remarkable story. Yamal grew up in Mataró, a town about 30 kilometers from Barcelona. His father is Moroccan and his mother is from Equatorial Guinea, so he could have chosen to represent either of those national teams instead of Spain. He has been a football enthusiast since his early years, initially honing his skills on local pitches, particularly in the impoverished district of Rocafonda 304 in his town. I was always there. I played all day, and without checking my phone, I went home dripping with sweat. When you learn to play on the street, you end up with greater football skills because street football has fewer rules, making you trickier compared to those trained in football schools. The young player has not forgotten where he came from, often forming the number 304 with his hands during goal celebrations. Additionally, the last 3 digits of the district's postal code are stitched into his boots. A Spanish coach put an end to Yamal's street football period. Inocente Diez recognized Yamal's talent and brought him to the youth club La Torreta, from where he almost immediately moved to La Masia Academy at the age of 7. Coaches quickly noticed him, and reportedly, he progressed through the age group so rapidly that hardly anyone could keep up. At 15, he was already playing for the U19 team. Many thought this would be a challenging period for him as he lagged behind his teammates physically. However, thanks to his technical prowess and agility, he was able to compensate for the difference and somehow always emerged victorious from tight situations. Lamine has an innate talent that cannot be shaped. He can do things that aren't logical, but because of his talent, they work for him. As a coach, I sometimes thought, what can I teach him if he does things I can't even imagine from the sidelines? The closer you get to Lamine, the more you realize that the great label isn't enough. He is a very, very special footballer. In 2022, Xavi invited him several times to train with the senior team, and in April 2023, he made his debut for the first team against Real Betis. The 15-year-old created several chances during the match but did not manage to score. Nevertheless, he became the youngest player in the club's history to debut with the senior team. Subsequently, at 16 years and 57 days old, he debuted for the Spanish national team, where he also scored a goal, making him the youngest player and goal scorer for the national team. He also achieved these 2 titles at the European Championship. Yamal is often compared to Lionel Messi, as both reached the senior team as La Masia graduates at a very young age. Moreover, they are both left-footed, played in the same position, although this later changed for Messi, and have similar playing styles, not hesitating to show a few tricks to unsettle their opponents. Additionally, their speed complements these abilities. These comparisons were further amplified by a photo posted by the young player, showing him as a few months old, with Lionel Messi, thanks to a UNICEF photo shoot. However, it's also worth mentioning that Barcelona fans had similar hopes for another player, Ansu Fati, who ultimately did not fulfill these expectations and spent the previous season at Brighton, though it's true that constant injuries also hindered him. Nonetheless, it might not be the best idea to compare a young player to anyone, as this adds extra pressure that might impede their development. Lamine Yamal's story has only just begun, and it seems a bright future lies ahead.